ooh.
I was oohing because I just got out of the shower and I forgot to go dry my hair. So it's kind of just
Willy-nilly.
willy-nilly, willy-nilly.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning. Oh, we have one person on. Hi, Lori. You're the first one, I think. Oh, we're up to 3.
Lori Pitsley.
Hi, Lori.
Yeah.
Anne is on.
So we've got a rainy, bad day.
What's the temperature out?
It's warm. It's like 2 degrees, something like that.
Oh,
yeah.
good.
We had a little bit of snow, then it turned to rain.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of messy, but I think sun's supposed to come out this afternoon.
But there's no school today.
I know, but I think it's because the back roads are very slippery.
Okay.
Or my back road is very slippery.
Hi, Janet. Hi, Deanne, Sandra.
How's everybody
Mark.
this morning?
Lynn's on. Good morning. Okay. You have something to show people.
Take a slurp of coffee first here, girls. Get myself going.
Nothing like rush in the moment.
I just
Hi,
wanted
Debbie.
to show you guys something different I tried this week. Where's my other piece? Right there. So, as you guys know, you saw probably on the page that I had done the Lori Holt chicken quilt or whatever.
Everybody's seen that because it was
Yeah.
beautiful.
But I wanted to show you that this is the first time that I used this rickrack because she does that on a lot of her quilts.
So we're going to show
And
you
you
up
put
close.
it,
Hi, Heather.
I don't know if you can see it, right there. You put it inside your binding.
Can you see under a different color better? Like, is there a light one? There's a light one that shows
Yeah,
a little
there
bit
we
better.
go.
Isn't
So
that
there
cute?
it is. Isn't it cute? I like it. So it's really easy to work with. So what you do is you take your, this is the large. She has 2 or 3 sizes. So if you were doing like a little table runner or something small, you'd probably use the daintier stuff. So it's really easy to use. Once you have your quilt trimmed and you're ready to put your binding on, you start with this and you take one edge and you make sure that your little point is right on the edge of the top of your quilt, and you just stitch like 1/8 of an inch just to hold that edge down before you put your
And you were
binding on the
saying-
traditional way.
You were saying how much better this stuff
Oh,
was.
this is like, I have used rickrack from like years ago from the Met, and things like that, or
From the
Zellers.
Met, that's showing
Yeah,
your age.
it is, isn't it? And this is really nice quality stuff.
Just somebody wanted to see it. See,
Yeah.
It's on the white there. You can really
Anyway,
see
it's
it.
really easy to
And
do.
these are floppy. Like they're not sewn
Yeah,
down.
but they're so stiff that I don't think they're going to curl when you wash them at all. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. They are stiff. I can't hardly pick it up.
Yeah, like it's really nice. I don't think it's going to curl at all. Like, because someone had asked that on one of the groups or something, and somebody said no, they'd washed theirs hundreds of times and it lays down. So I really like it. And it was simple to do. Really simple.
And if it does curl, you just have to
Oh, look,
spray.
this is complete with dog hair.
If it does curl, you just have to spray it with that, my favorite spray.
Yeah, but
My
I don't
favorite
think
spray.
it's going to the way it's
No.
laying. I really don't. Anyway, it was fun.
Okay. Who out there is ready for block row number 5? Twyla lost count yesterday.
I did. I was typing up the directions to post, and I had it labeled week 4. And then when I looked in the folder that I put them in here, I was like, oh, we already did week 4.
Oh, Debbie wants you to hold up and show the whole quilt. We can hold it up.
Oh, well, yeah. Get myself down there.
Okay, let's hold it all up.
Woo!
In this big, huge room.
Okay, this is the top.
There's her quilt.
There you go. See all the different roosters?
Isn't it cute?
It is.
Where's the chicken you forgot to put?
Oh, yes. So you guys, wait till I show you this. So
Where
all
is
these
he?
little chicks have beaks, right? Not all.
Where's the?
So when I was binding this thing, here's the bird with the missing beak right here.
Oh, you've got no
Look,
beak.
he's got no beak.
Well, let's pretend he's.
So
turned his head.
he's got his head turned back too, looking over his shoulder is what I'm telling everybody.
Anyway,
Or
isn't
you know what the Amish say, that
There's
they
nothing
purposely leave a mistake in every quilt because they say only God is perfect or whatever. The humans aren't perfect. So
Yeah, we're
so
not
this is my
perfect here.
Amish quilt apparently.
Yeah, there's not a perfect quilt in my shop.
There isn't. There's a mistake in all of mine if you look. Okay. Okay.
I have to admit that I am behind today.
Yes, she is.
I have nothing to show you.
But she's going to have a block sewn at the end of this to show you. So this week we are doing this, I haven't even got the threads trimmed off of it. We're doing the checkerboard star. And I don't know if you can tell, but they're staggered. See how this one's up a bit and this one's down a bit?
Let's just keep going this way
Yeah.
so they can see all your pretty colors.
So that's what we're doing this week. So it's a 10.5-inch block. So you're still going to do 7, but it is going to use sashing for the queen size. You're going to do 7, but it is using a sashing between the rows. And then we also have to, on every block, put this extra piece that you then either put on the bottom and then rotate it to the top on your next block so that you get the up and down staggered look.
And for all you creative people out there, this doesn't have to be a 9 patch. How big is that 9 patch?
That's 1, 2, 3-inch square, right? 3 inches square. Where's
check.
the ruler? 3 inches square. I had to stop and think.
Especially for you, Nancy. I'm sure you can get a 3-inch
Yeah,
square.
it's a 3-inch square, finished in the center at 3
So it's a
inches. So
three
it's
and
a
a half.
3.5 inch.
So you could
have
just
to
put about
go away.
Get in here, Wally. Yes.
So you could do whatever you wanted.
Yeah, so there's the opportunity for creativity in this one, but the 9 patch looks really good.
Yeah. So you
I
can
like the pink and
also
gray
do, like mine is very scrappy because I'm doing scrappy.
Mine's not so scrappy.
No. So you could either go with like a uniform look in your checkerboard the whole way across for the centers of your flowers. You can either coordinate this fabric and then go lighter here, or you can go lighter and darker, or you can do 2 totally contrasting. It's whatever you want to do, right?
Speaking of being creative, I was over at my man sewers yesterday, Lloyd, aka Lloyd, and Jennifer's, and you should see what he's doing with his blocks. He got carried away a little bit. Instead of
Of course he did.
Instead of making 7 flowers, I think he made 28. Instead of making
28.
I know, instead of making 1 butterfly with the watering can, I think he's got 4 maybe.
Oh, good for him.
So I'm going to be interested to see what he
How
comes
he
up
puts
with
it together and what he
lays it
does.
out. How many different patterns do you have? So how
What do
many
you mean, Wendy? How many different patterns do I have?
We're just doing the 1 pattern this week, but
Yeah.
it's open to
Yeah.
however you want to put your center.
So just hand me that page. So when you open the link that I'm going to post today, this is actually the printed pattern that you're going to see. You guys won't be shocked to know that this is a Lori Holt block. So anyway, it's a free pattern. It's called Checkerboard Star. It was part of the Riley Blake Designs block challenge last year. The same block challenge that's going on this year that a few of us are doing. This was one from last year.
Wendy, if you want to make all 7 of your stars the exact same, you can. They could be the same color right straight
Stars
across.
or centers?
And she can do them all
Yeah,
the same.
Yeah.
If you want to do them all the same, then you can.
Yeah.
Some look like a 4-petal flower. They're all 4.
No. Well,
They are 4 petals. They all have. I kind of look at these as the petals.
yeah. And
these
those
is
things
kind
are
of
the
the
leaves
leaves.
on the outside. I don't even know that it's supposed to be a flower because it's called
It's
a
called a
checkerboard
star.
star. But
It
anyway,
kind of looks like a flower.
yeah, it does.
So it's so what I'm going to do is I'm pretending they're flowers, and I'm doing my centers all the same across in different colored flowers because
Yeah.
I'm using this pretty stuff.
So it's not a hard pattern at all. The trickiest part is to be sure when you're laying out your block. This piece right here is 3.5 by 4, and yes, I sewed those things on the wrong side when I first did my first block. So you have to be careful because this goes on the 3.5-inch side. So this is your 4 inches going this way to the center, 4 inches going this way. From the center out is 4 inches, and you sew on the 3.5 wide.
Yeah.
So that's your trickiest thing. And then just getting these sewn on the right way to lay these out. But anyway, it's all there in the pattern, very well explained in the pattern. So anyway,
Margaret wants to know. It's called the checkerboard
Star is the name.
So I'm going to do my checkerboard in the center.
Okay, here,
I'm just
give
gonna
me
show
give
you.
me
Give you
a
a hand?
hand, please.
I don't know where my hand should be.
Oops, sorry, that's my finger over the
we don't
camera,
have,
guys.
We don't have tape anymore, people.
We don't.
So
Want to see
no.
our high tech? Wait till I get this sucker turned around here. This is our high-tech.
This is what Wally came
where'd you
up
go
with.
it? There we go. This is our high-tech thing to replace the tape, and it works great.
That's Mr. Fix-It's
Yep.
solution to the tape, and it works great.
So, in your directions of the checkerboard star pattern on here, it tells you to cut each one of these squares like 1.5 by 1.5 and sew them together. But Deb is going to show you how to do it as a strip pieced unit.
Because I want all of mine the same.
Now, if you are doing every one of your center checkerboards
I gotta put my-
different, you may not want to do this because this is more time saving if you're doing all of them the same.
Yeah.
But anyway, we just want to show you that technique for anybody who hasn't done the strip piecing for and it doesn't just work with a 3-square checkerboard. It would work with, if you're doing anytime like a 9 by 9 or anything that you're doing them the same.
Yeah.
So she's taking 2 of her 2 fabrics that she's using in the center, and she's going to stitch down. Those are 1.5-inch strips. And there she goes. So there's, I should just heat up the iron here. I guess it is on. Okay. Yep. And so in your checkerboard, you will see your top and your bottom have your darker colors on the outside, and then your middle strip is different with your color on the center. So doing strips, you'd have to do 2 different color combos of strips. You have to do one set with the dark on the outside, and that's what she's doing right now. And then you're going to do one set reverse.
Is the iron on, or did I hear you say you did that?
It's on. Every time I go to turn around to look, I think I swing the camera because I can't keep it.
You probably do.
Yeah, I probably do. Can't look over my shoulder.
Can't do 2 things at once. So then the
I
next.
can, just not well.
So then the next one.
Yeah, so now she's going to do that middle piece where the light is on the outside. Debbie Handspiker loves your fabric.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Put the light on the outside.
Yep, there she goes with her. So this will save a lot of time compared to piecing 9 little 1.5-inch squares if you're doing every block center the same. Even if you're doing them differently, you could still do like a smaller strip, like a 10-inch strip or whatever you need this way to cut your 2 tops.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going over here. And so now she's going to press. Woo! And I'm standing on the cord to the iron. There she goes, ironing. And so on each strip, if you iron all one way, then you're going to be able to turn them so that you can nest your seams. So you don't have to worry about where you're ironing them right now. Just go all one way on both strips. And then it's just a matter of flipping them when you go to put them together so that the seams nest. And I'm sure that...
I'm sure what?
I'm sure that most people have done this, but we do have a few newer people doing the sew along, so we thought we'd show
mine
it.
in half when I cut them.
Because then she's getting double the cuts with one cut. There. So now she's going to just take a trim off of the ends to square up her ends. What kind of sewing machine is that? That is, it's very similar to an industrial Juki, I think, isn't it? Doesn't it use very much the same parts? But it's called a Bridge Sew, which is
it's just a brand.
It's a brand here from Nova Scotia, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
Took me a while to love it, but I love it now.
So do I. Yeah.
You don't even know what we're talking about.
Oh.
So see how quick it is to... So that's much faster than doing
So now I'm
9
just gonna put
individual
my block
pieces.
together.
So show them what we meant about the seams nesting
So
there.
instead of putting them this way, you can nest them so that your seams go this way and they nest.
So it's just a matter of flipping it. If when you first put them together, if they're both going the same way, just turn it end for end and it'll go the other way. And when they nest, you don't have to pin. They just nestle right in there and your seams come to a nice point.
Perfect every time.
Nadine says she loves her Jukies.
I
Her
do too.
Juki. I love mine too.
I do too.
So,
See, I've got variety in my stars, so.
because her print is kind of variegated.
And I'm
So
happy
there,
with
that's the center. Whoops, let me get this paper out of your way. There we go. So there, that quick she has the center done.
I don't want my spray. I don't want,
Oh.
I left my spray out there.
Hmm.
I'll go get my spray later. Okay. So then this is going to fit right
Right
in.
there in the center. So the way this is laid out, all your individual pieces are there with your little corner squares that are going to cover when you do a corner to corner technique there on them. So it's a lot of corner to corner techniques on these, but it's not hard. And then they all just go together in the strips once you get them done.
I'll do one so that they
Yeah.
can just have it changed.
Yes, the finished block is 10.5 by 10.5.
So I'm going to pick these up first.
So we're, like I said, we're going to do 7 of these blocks, but because they're smaller than when we did the 7 of the 12.5-inch blocks, that's why we're going to put sashing between, and then to give it that staggered up and down look, we're going to add a little strip of sashing on each block.
Oh, as they're going to realize that I don't really ever fold or draw lines on my square. But I'll give them a tip. You know, when you, have you ever heard that said that if you're ever in a car accident, don't look at the ditch? Because that's where you're going to go. Look at where you want to go,
Yes.
not where you're going.
Yeah.
So I never draw a line usually or fold because I don't look at my sewing machine needle. I look at where I want to go. So I'll show you what I mean. So instead of looking here, I just look for this point.
She's aiming to that point.
That's all I do.
Yeah.
Just go there. And
Now,
and it usually
there's
comes...
nothing wrong with drawing a line
No, no,
or
no.
folding
I'm
it or
just showing
creasing
you how I
it,
do
but
it.
this is how Deb does it. And that is fairly easy when your block is
small.
But now if you're doing like a
big
6-inch or an
block?
8-inch block, that doesn't work so well.
No.
Your line has a tendency to look
Tends
like
to
you're
whoop.
drunk. Like you were driving drunk.
Can't imagine.
So the sashings, okay ladies, I'm going to try to reach my paper back here. Oh. Okay, there we go. That was like almost like a yoga pose. You guys should have seen that. Okay. So what you're going to need for the queen size option, you're going to need 8 pieces of background sashing. So now when I say sashing, you guys are, some people are holding off and deciding on their sashing between their blocks until after they see the rows to see if they want to go with a coordinating fabric or if they're just going with their background or what they're going to do. But your sashing, you need 8 pieces that are 2.25 times 12.5. And then you need 7 pieces that are 2.5 by 10.5. So the 7 pieces, it's easy to remember that those are the ones that go on each individual block because we have 7 blocks. And those are the ones that are going to give you that staggered up and down look. The 2.5 by 10.5. The 8 pieces go between and 1 on each end of the row. And those are the ones that are 2.25 times 12.5. And another thing, if you wanted to make your outside 2 strips a little wider than the 2.25, like if you find that some of your rows, either because your seams maybe weren't quite accurate on some rows or whatever, are a little bit different in length and they're not all measuring the 84.5, If you put those outside sashings a little bit bigger, then you can trim them to be whatever size you need them, and it's not going to be noticeable. So she's adding her to her ends.
So this long one, I want my point to go like this. Not this way. This way.
Yeah, so that's the other tricky part in the pattern is to, but if you look here at the pattern, are you doing that right? I think you are. So if you look here in the pattern, whoops, I got the pattern upside down. Oh my word. Ooh, where's my picture? There
So see this point right here? This is going to be this right here.
Yeah. So just make sure as you do them that you're putting them the same. And even though they go rotated around the block, you make all four the same, and then it's just how you position them around the block.
So this little square, let's show them how to do the little square.
The little square.
So it's going to look like this. It's going to look like this. And I want my little square to go like that. So I figured it out.
Where's your little squares?
Right here.
There they are.
So this.
So hold it up there. So
it's going to go like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So those are the trickiest things, is not getting the 3.5 by 4 petal and getting your thing sewn on the wrong side of that, and making sure that you get your little diagonal line on these pieces going the right direction.
You might want to check it before you cut
Before you actually take those scissors and make that cut, flip it up and compare it to the picture on your pattern.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot easier to just take out a row of stitching than it is to cut new pieces.
Not that we would know that.
You might not know that. Okay, so Wendy's wondering, are the little points she's cutting off too small to sew another seam and have a small? It depends.
If it was Nancy Steves.
If Nancy Steves would say, no, certainly not. Now, there's other people who would say that they don't keep them that small. You're going to get a very tiny.
Very tiny.
I'm just looking to see what that it would be. By the time you get your seam allowance, oh yeah, that would be tiny, tiny, tiny by the time you get your seam allowance.
Depends on how patient you are.
Yeah, it does. Not saying you can't do it.
Yeah.
Nancy does it all the time.
Yeah.
Let's see, am I missing? Wendy, this isn't going to take a lot of your gray matter. You just have to lay it out and look at your pattern. The pictures in the pattern are very good to follow.
What's gray matter anyway?
Her brain.
Gray matter.
I'm just looking back to see if I lost it, if I missed any questions.
I need to see the pattern before I sew mine together.
Okay, so here she goes with her. So she's going to lay her pattern there so that she can follow. See how the rows.
I've got my long one, and it says to take this right here and sew my square to it.
So now she's sewing her square to the upper corner.
Like this, so it looks just like the photo there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to take this and put it just like that.
Mm-hmm. And once you get one done,
you can make them all
you can make them all the same, because it's just a matter of rotating them around the block. But they actually all go together the same. Is that not right?
Yep, they do. See, this can go like this, can go like this, and it can go like this.
Yeah. So once you get one, just use that one as your pattern.
Yeah. So that goes like that. And that goes like that. I look at the pattern every time. Just because I don't want to pick it out.
No, but you're so quick at picking out.
With my handy little electric seam ripper.
Oh, Faye, think positive. There's not going to be a lot of seam ripping. You'll be fine.
No. If you look at the picture every time, you won't have to seam rip.
That's one thing I can say, and it's not just because I like Lori Holt stuff, but her patterns are very easy to follow, and the pictures are awesome. You almost don't need to read the directions. Like, you can almost just go by the pictures. I love it.
I do a lot of going by the pictures when I sew.
Mm-hmm.
My
I do too, but then occasionally I wish I had read.
I know.
I'm like,
I
darn,
can't
if I just
imagine.
read those directions.
Okay.
So it really, like, it's a little bit friggy, but, so on that note, so next week is a break because Deb isn't going to be here.
Yeah.
So when we come back in 2 weeks.
So there is a seam to meet here, people.
Oh, here.
See? There is a seam to meet when you put your blocks together.
So if you look at those before you iron, you could actually have those nesting. You could just finger press like Deb's doing instead of ironing, and then they go so nicely in the right directions to nest.
I gotta make sure I get my points going the right way.
Yeah. So see, she hasn't ironed, so
I'm
she can
pressing it.
easily maneuver those whichever way she needs them.
And then I'll repress them.
Yeah. But now a lot of people like to iron each step along the way, and you can do that. So anyway, getting back to what I was saying. Next week there's no video because Deb isn't going to be here.
I'm sorry.
So in 2 weeks, when we come back, it won't be this one. It will be the closed one because that's what's missing next week. So it's actually going to be, what, 3 weeks from today before.
So you got lots of time.
Is it 3? Yes. Yeah, you got lots of time to do these little friggy ones, which is good. So let's see what you guys come up with for your centers. If anybody's going to get brave and tackle some different 3.5-inch squares in the center. Or if you're just going to go with the checkerboard.
Me, I'm going with the checkerboard.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to... Oh, so for the throw size, the lap size, if anybody's doing that, you're going to make 4 of these blocks. And then you're going to need 2 pieces of sashing that measures 1.5 by 12.5, and that's just for the outside. There isn't going to be sashing. Oh no, that's the outside, yes. So the sashing between and the outside of the rows are 2 different sizes to make it work. So 2 pieces for the outside that are 1.5 by 12.5. And then 3 strips of sashing for in between the blocks that are 2.5 by 12.5. And then you'd need your 4 pieces, the same as the number of blocks that you're making, your 4 pieces that are the 2.5 by 10.5 to give it that staggered up and down look. And all that will be, I have it all typed out like this. And that will be included in the PDF when you open it, along with the picture pattern over there. So Deb's getting her rows together.
Is my iron hot again?
Oh, yep, it is. There.
Ta-da!
Ta-da, ta-da. Okay.
I brought my spray in.
Oh, Linda wants me to cheat and tell how many rows is in this quilt. I can't tell you that, Linda. It's a mystery.
Linda who?
Linda Lusby. I will tell you, though, that we've got some, I'll give you a little hint that we do have some weeks coming up with some more narrow rows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to put some visual interest where we've got some different sizes.
Okay.
So now, if you need to, or if you prefer, ooh, I'm going to have a burnt arm. If you need to, or if you prefer, you can take your straight edge and trim those up. Just always watch that you've got your quarter inch at your points for your seam allowance. So see, she can safely take a little bit off there.
I'll trim that off later.
Yeah. But always leave your quarter inch for your seam allowance.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have that, don't trim it because then you're going to
lose your points.
You're going to lose your points. You might need to fudge your seam allowance a little bit if you're close in a few places, but fudging is perfectly acceptable.
Okay.
Okay.
There's
so
block 1.
That's that. And I'm wondering, I don't think there was anything.
No other questions?
I don't think. So I will here, you want to take it and flip it around so they can talk to you?
Oh, so you talk to me.
There. Okay, so I think that's it. I'll that posted there shortly, so the instructions, the video will be in the normal business page, but the instructions will be in the quilt project page in the file section, labeled.
Just a quick reminder, we've had a couple of people, I just found requests on my personal page for some orders from Friday night, and sadly they aren't going to get filled because we missed them. So this is just a friendly reminder, if you want anything from a Friday night sale, make sure you private message us on the quilt page or call the shop. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
So
it's too hard to try to
with the retreat?
keep up with emails, the business page, personal page, and the phone.
Yeah, so we always go to our business page first. There's nothing new in the retreat other than we are one day closer than we were yesterday.
But everything's still going.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward.
New people signing up.
Yeah,
like all the time it seems.
So there is a little bit new. Thank you, Janet. Even though the restrictions are lifting, the staff there will be wearing their masks. You guys are welcome to wear your masks, or you're welcome to go maskless, whatever way you want. But the vaccination requirement is still in effect because they are Department of National Defense. They haven't lifted the non-vaccinated.
For you that don't know, that
yeah.
convention center was built on an army base.
Yeah,
like
it's not an army base now, but they still
have
adhere
some
to the rules.
Things. Yeah.
So we still need to be vaccinated, and masks are an option. Is it okay to use Facebook message if you are on my Quilts by the Bay, Lorraine? I think
the business page.
Yeah.
But if it's Deb's personal page,
yeah, you can certainly message me there. But you probably will miss out on something because I don't tend to get a lot of my stock in because I don't have the space to hold it. So lots of times I get items with only 2 or 3 items, and people miss out. So my personal page isn't answered for a couple of days later. Okay. So is there anything else? No other question? There still are a few openings, Janet. It's picking up. It's good.
Another great book. Who's saying about what book?
What book, Nancy? She might mean block.
Oh, okay.
And maybe another block.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, there's a few openings if you'd like to come. I'm soon going to be posting for those of you that just want to attend the Jenny Doan Zoom theater meeting. So that'll be posted real soon too. So
it's gonna be so good.
I can't wait.
It'll be nice to see everybody.
It will be nice. Yeah. And the show and tell of roughly 80 to 90 items. Don't forget to bring your show and tell, everybody, because everybody...
And we are probably going to have to limit it to one item where there's so many people. Yeah. I know in the past when there was only 30, you could show more than one thing.
Even though we have 3 different groups, I didn't think that the 3 different groups wanted to do the show and tell from room to room, because I think even still crowds are a little bit unnerving for people. Where the theater holds 500 people, we can easily fit the 90 people. So we're going
and anybody who wants to socially distance, there's plenty of room there for that. Yeah.
So the show and tell will be done by probably Twyla and I, or Karen, or whoever's helping, up on stage. So we are going to take your items and hold it up. You will, if you want to say something about your item, you can stand up from the auditorium and have your say about whatever we're holding up.
And hopefully we'll be able to have a mic set up down like on the floor, that you could go up to the mic and so everybody could hear what you were saying. Yeah.
So that is the latest on the retreat. It's going to be fun. As much as it's going to be fun to see Jenny, I can't wait to see 90 different projects of people. What's that? Gail's granddaughter Ava is watching with me. She says hi to the sewing girls. Hi, Ava.
Deborah and Twyla. She's 3.
Hi, Ava. You should start sewing with your Grammy. Okay. So
okay, ladies. That's
it. We'll see you in a couple of weeks because I am taking vacation.
2 weeks from now is the closed. 3 weeks from today is the next open. So you got plenty of time.
Sorry to linger this long. I just needed a way.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.